Alright, I am back with another Destiny 2 video, and it's only day 2 of Guardian Games, but it's kind of a disaster, so I figured I would circle back around to it. Um, Obviously, the main thing that's going on is there's a bug where the title SMG is just not dropping at all. You get one curated version, which is a curated garbage version on purpose, which is Vorpal Grave Robber, and that's just something Ava gives you at the end of the little like mini quest introducing you to things. But it is not dropping anywhere else. I don't know exactly where it's supposed to be dropping. I would assume in gold medal and platinum medal packages, maybe at, like in the playlist itself, which would make sense because right now the playlist is like literally just a nightfall. But I thought I would talk a little bit about just changes I would make based on what we're seeing so far with Guardian Games in general. Uh, I don't really know what's going on with Guardian Games. I feel like they change so much about it every single year, and they never really land on anything that's like as good as it needs to be. For as much crap as I give the EAZ for constantly like being the same thing over and over again, at least that kind of like had a loop down and is you're able to understand like what to do, how to get rewards, things like that. Here, I don't know. I don't understand what they're doing with this whole system here. So first of all, it's a 3-week event, so why would you split the week in half between like the training thing and the competitive thing? I don't really understand like why you would make that level of complicated. I still am not really clear. I think you earn the buff by getting a certain score, which carries over into the competitive weekend and gives you like some sort of super buff to use in the nightfall. But the two things are not different. It's all the same modifiers. It's the same power level. It's just I think now you have the buff that you earned, so like it just sucks to play that nightfall during training because it's just a normal nightfall, and then it's a little more fun because of the buff. But then there's this other playlist that gives you like strike scoring and stuff, but it like doesn't really do anything. It's just like a mess around playlist, but it like adds another layer of confusion because that's not really getting you a lot of progress compared to the nightfall. I would just have streamlined this into like, okay, did you complete a gold objective for the week? You get the buff in the nightfall. The end. Like if you've or five gold card completions or 3 gold card completions or whatever, 1 platinum, that gets you the highest level of the buff for the week. Like the end. That's what I would have done. I would not have split the playlists like this. I don't really understand the desire to do that. I also would not have had Lightblade be the thing this week since we just finished uh, messing around with Lightblade and GMs and we're just kind of exhausted from Lightblade. It's just I can't handle Lightblade. And the teleporting hive and the knights and the literally I had the boss teleport on top of me and insta kill me with the axe. And like this is not a GM obviously, but it's still deeply annoying. I do not like that strike at a nightfall level. Otherwise, it seems weird that you can only hold a single card at a time. You will often find a situation where like you can complete, a card essentially, depending on what you're doing, like 1 or 2 activities will complete a card. So every time that happens, you are going back to the tower to buy a new one. Sometimes you might not have enough laurels to buy the one you want, so you're gonna have to do some grinding to get a couple extra laurels out, which is also kind of busy work that doesn't seem very fun. I think you should be able to stack multiple cards. I don't really see the point in making them cost laurels. Like I guess it would kind of have to have a cost reduction if you could buy more than one at a time, unless you have some crazy laurel stockpile. I just don't really see the need to have the kind of currency system there. Uh, the laurel idea, it's just like one more currency added on top of everything where it seems like kind of a remnant of past games where they don't need to be doing that anymore. And I don't really like running around collecting little triangles because there's so many of them, and it just seems like something you should be automatically getting. Not that also seeing the little like laurel thing pop up on your screen all the time is not that great either. I just don't think laurels are a really kind of needed system at this point. I think the metal cards are fine. I think the idea of a strike scoring playlist is fine. It's just like I think it could have all been streamlined down to like those 2 things in terms of the actual activities. In terms of the packages, no idea why they are refusing to change the idea that you need to get blues from any event package. This happens every single time, whether it is dawning gifts or whether it is whatever the EAZ gift things are called. Now we have, silver and gold medal turn-ins. They're giving blues. We don't need blues. We literally do not need blues. Like, all they have to do is take blues out of the pool for these and replace it with like enhancement cores or some, like, literally anything else in the game could replace blues here, and it would be more useful, because blues are 100 glimmer and one weapon rank thing. As we after all this time, I am still not close to a full weapon vendor rank reset. I mean, granted, I've stopped playing kind of after I finished most of the seasonal stuff, but like, that is just hilarious. Some good changes. I do like the change that they made where you don't have to only run the 3 core playlist activities now. Like, it is a free event, but you can run Witch Queen stuff and you can run seasonal stuff. It's just that, the free-to-play people might not have those options, but it is good to kind of stick those in there. I guess they gave Legend difficulty like a reason to do it, but I don't know. I still don't think most of those modes need Legend difficulty in the first place. Another thing this did that I do like is it has shown that we can do 1550 Legend matchmaking, and we don't need to resort to LFG for that. Currently, 1550 Nightfalls are not able to be match-made. Matchmaking is disabled there, so you have to manually find a group on LFG, which is annoying because like the rewards are good enough to want to run that difficulty, but the difficulty is not so hard where it's like a 1580 or a GM, and yet it still requires you to not use in-game matchmaking. This may be a test to show that, like, okay, maybe people are competent enough to get through these strikes with 2 random people not communicating, which, from my experience, that has been the case. It's not always, like, the smoothest of things, but see no reason that can't be true. I also don't think there's locked loadouts for this. I might need to double check on that, but I think in 1550 Nightfalls now there are locked loadouts. That's another reason, I think. I think if you put matchmaking on, you have to not have locked loadouts, because you never know if you're going to get a team that just is not running any anti-champion mods or anti-shield things or whatever. I mean, everyone's kind of running Arbalest now, but those are changes I would like to see to the actual Nightfall list. No lock loadouts and matchmaking in 1550, or whatever the equivalent is of 1550, next time. Other than that, don't care about who's winning. I think Warlock's won day one. I am Team Warlock. I guess I'm technically a Warlock main, and they didn't win yet, but until they come up with like a meaningful reward for the class that actually wins, I don't care. I really don't. The statue remains one of the most like comically bad things I think they've come up with as a reward. The original statue was like really small, and the new one is like bigger, but it should be like a literal statue of like a famous Titan hunter or warlock that's like somewhere prominent in the tower for a full year. Like, I forget all the famous people now that I can't think of any. I guess technically most of the famous guardians are like still around and hanging out with us, but or I don't know, fine, even a generic statue of like, or that can be part of the contest. It's like they pick someone's guardian each year to make a statue out of like their armor set. That'd be kind of a cool contest. It'd be like the ultimate fashion contest. Like, you're immortalized in the tower as a statue for a year. But maybe I'll I'll write that up. Anyway, the event right now is not worth grinding at all, because you cannot get any drops of the title, which is really the only reason to be running this event in the first place, which is this single gun. It's not even that good, I don't think. It's just another Void SMG. It's got a unique trait and stuff, and there's some okay rolls, but I'm sympathetic to like game development is hard and stuff, but like, if you're running an event that has one reward, make sure the event can drop that reward. This obviously has to be hotfixed sooner rather than later. This is only a 3-week event. We are 2 days away from like the weekend thing. I don't know if maybe this is going to drop from the torches or something. The whole torch system is something else I barely even understand, but maybe there'll be rewards there. I went back to the TWAB, and there's this whole section about like how you're going to be able to get masterwork versions of these that drop instantly masterworked, and ones with 3 and 4 perks instead of 2. And it seemed like it was going to be this like crazy awesome farm for this machine or this SMG, and it's just can't even get one copy of it, and I have no idea how we're supposed to get those advanced copies. So, Guardian Games, I think, still needs a good amount of work, both in terms of kind of structure, rewards. I don't know, a whole lot of stuff. There are a couple good elements here and some improvements, but on the whole, not the biggest fan right now, and we will see when this gets hotfixed. Otherwise, I'm just not going to be playing it. Don't see a reason to, but when that SMG starts dropping again, maybe I'll come back. I guess maybe I'll come back to see what the weekend stuff is like on Friday and how that changes. Like, apparently I got this buff. I got a platinum in the training playlist, so which the platinum gives me a gold buff. Not sure what that's about, but I guess I will see how that plays in action when the weekend rolls around. But yeah, we will keep an eye out for that hotfix. I will post about it on Twitter, obviously, if it does happen. But yeah, so Warlocks, and talk to you guys later. Take care.